Okay, so when we come back, the Maccabees Bible and the da-da-da and the da-da-da, all the different kind of Bibles out there and all the different kind of things out there, I want to see if there's a relation between numbers and all that stuff. Is that a fair question, gentlemen?
More than fair.
More than fair. And Trip, is that a fair question? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's 11:19 WIB, 15 minutes now past the hour, 7 o'clock, 7:15 in the morning. And Trip, when is this thing going to hit us?
Around Friday, actually.
Friday.
And we're going to get like a dusting of it,
A dusting?
a dust-up. A very serious dust.
Now find out what's going on the roads and rails. We're going to Debbie Duham Metro Traffic. Good morning, Debs.
Good morning, people.
Music, 23 and a half minutes now past the hour, 7 o'clock, 7:23 and a half. Okay, 11:19 WIB, Tuesday, September 16th, 2003. 66 degrees. The best damn morning show on radio. 11:19 WIB. You know it's the Global Village, baby. Our number's 212 now 11:9. Now we're not going to start doing readings yet or anything. We hold them for a while.
We're just talking numbers
because
right
we got
now.
some information. We got some information to bring forth first. Now, my question to Lloyd Strayhorn.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask because Dr. Yates was talking about Africa and numbers and stuff like that, and I wanted to ask you. For instance, in Africa, let's take a country that many of us really originate from, Ghana. They do not do that, but they do the day of the week. Again, they deal with the concept of birth. They give their children the name of the day of the week, and they say that the day that you're born has to do with your personality. I'm sure you're both aware of that. Mm-hmm. For instance, Kofi is Friday. So we have Kofi Annan. He must have been born on a Friday. And they use it kind of astrologically. They say if you were born on a Friday, you have this personality and you're able to do this, and different names for Wednesday and all that kind of stuff. So how is it that in Africa, these are Africans, this is their culture, and it's our culture really. It's the one that we didn't know or were brought up in, at least I wasn't. How is it that they're using the day of the week? They're also not using inception as you like to use. They're not but they are using birth, but they use the day.
Mm-hmm.
Where Europeans are using the month and the day.
One of my children, his name is Amar, and Amar means to be born on a Saturday. And he was born on a Saturday. Saturday governs the number 8. He was born on the 8th. 8 rules the sign of Capricorn, and he was born under the sign of Capricorn. And he was even born at 10:16 in the evening. So everything about this particular young man of mine is an 8, and thus I named him Amar, to be born on a Saturday. And see, in Africa, the day one is born under, for example, I always used to love to teach my classes on a Wednesday, and it didn't dawn on me until later that I was born on a Wednesday. So people will have a favorite day regardless of the birth number, but just the day. And almost always, if you look at, have you ever thought about, or you, David, what day that you like best, and what day you seem to pick all your activities to do things on? More than likely, 9 times out of 10, that's exactly the day you were born on. And so in African religion, they call it your krata, your day.
Your krata?
Yeah. ETP, establishing the point. I share, enhancing what my brother is saying here today, Brother Lloyd, is that if you do the studies about your own cycle, you'll find that there are 2 periods within the year that you sexually advance more than any other time of the year. Do the studies, I've done it. For me, it is the time in which, or the cycle in which I was conceived, and the cycle in which I was born. Those are 2 peaks of the year that I'm very high sexually, or yes, that's the term. Now, if you notice, most indigenous cultures of Africa, and also of the Arabs and the Caribs, the indigenous people, the Aborigines, they all seem to look alike, because their teaching of mating is not about sexuality. So they would only mate within a certain time of the year based on this cycle and peak. That's why the children are born a certain, everything is about timing and cycle and numbers. They do not indulge in sexuality. Sexuality is something that came later on. But most indigenous cultures, like the creatures with animals, until the female is in heat, then they will be mating. No animals have sex. They mate within the cycle, and men were supposed to be of that too, to be healthier and to bring forth geniuses. But when we start getting involved in certain sexual behavior, that throw us out of our cycle and rhythm. A lot of things can be born that could be out of cycle and rhythm. This is very, very important for our people. It's all about numbers. Unfortunately, we're not taught about that, about your body rhythm and what time of the day or night or morning it's good for mating, and also about finding your mate through grass mathematics. Grass mathematics is not only about numbers. It's about applying the 4 principles: perceptual thinking, reasoning, which is sound comprehensive logic, rhythm, which is calculus motion, as in pattern, and restoration, which is to bring again that which you've stored up for the nation. I like to call it restore nation instead of restoration. You're restoring it for the nation. So those 4 principles, perception, reasoning, and rhythm, is important to our people to be taught so that we can fulfill our destiny. Now, you mentioned earlier about religion, etc., how this plays in coming place.
Yeah, I want to know how does numbers what does numbers have to do with religion, and you know, how does it affect it?
Well, fortunately for me, I was brought up as a Christian. I'm glad I did. And why is because I can talk from experience. All right. And in Christianity, even though I was brought up in Christianity, and I went to Bible college to become a minister to represent that particular religion, there are 6 major religions in the world. There are many fragments of religions or cults and what have you, but there's 6 major religions, and let's name them: Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, and the Baha'i. But there's 6 major ones. Now, the question is being asked: out of all those 6 religions, which one of them was started or invented by a woman?
Were any?
None.
Yeah, okay.
None. Now, when you do the number system, you learn indeed that if you go into the linguistics, I'm into linguistics, okay, and numbers. You cannot teach, for me, I'm talking for me, it is not healthy to teach numbers and not the linguistics to go with the numbers, because words is about sound and power, and it has meaning, and you have to define properly what you're talking about. Let me give you an example. Dawid, what is 9 plus 8? What they taught you in school? 9 plus 8 is how much?
9 plus 8, 17.
17. How do you write 17 as a number?
1 and a 7.
1, 7. Right. You don't write 1, A, and D, and 7. No, you just write 1, 7. Right? So how come you didn't say...
But in your way, it's 1, 7.
No. Yes. That is not my way. No, it's not. I don't.
In grassmatics,
right.
It is 1, 7.
Right. A perceptual thinking will tell you, because look, if you ask anyone and they don't know grassmatics, they still tell it's 1, 7. That's how you write it. So it's not my way. I just bring it to the forefront, letting you be aware of it.
Okay.
Okay. You ask anyone how you write 11, and what would they tell you?
1, 1.
Exactly. So it's not my way. Okay. It's something people have been doing. Right. But the point is this. We are told that 9 plus 8 is 17. But perceptionally, there's no numerical number as 17. And here is the reason why.